International allies are coming to Canada's defense over the ongoing dispute with China. The UK and United States are now voicing their support along with the European Union. Earlier this week, the CBC's Katie Simpson joins me now with the latest. And Katie, you have some breaking details on the dispute between China and Canada.
Yeah, we have some details about what has been happening behind closed doors today on this. As we know, we reported earlier, about an hour ago, that Canada has put out a statement for the first time calling the arrest of 2 Canadians in the past couple of weeks, referring to them as arbitrary detentions and calling on China for their immediate release. Canada had resisted doing that until they had more information about the situation. But now Chrystia Freeland has put out a statement to say that they would like China to release these citizens immediately. But what new information we have just learned is that this is a situation that has unfolded behind the scenes today, right out of the Prime Minister's office. I'm told Prime Minister Justin Trudeau held a call today with senior Canadians that are involved in this issue. So senior members of his government, Defence Minister Harjit Sajjan, Public Safety Minister Ralph Goodale, the Chief of Defence Staff, the head of his National Security Advisor, as well as Chrystia Freeland and other senior bureaucrats. There was a briefing this morning to talk about the situation, about the Canadians detained, the conditions they're being held in, as well as what's going on with Huawei and the detention there. I'm told that even though it is the holiday period here in Canada, it's not the same kind of holiday season in China, so they are expecting more developments on this issue over the next few days and over the next couple of weeks. And so what sources say is that they're going to be quite seized with this and they're going to be ready to respond. But the other big thing here is Chrystia Freeland spoke with the Chinese ambassador in Canada today. The government has been criticized by the opposition for not necessarily doing enough to actually, communicate with the Chinese and actually have conversations about what's been going on behind the scenes. But now we have confirmation that Chrystia Freeland spoke with the Chinese ambassador in Canada today. They spoke by phone. They discussed this current situation. This will be the second phone call they've had together since this dispute sort of escalated, as well as other senior officials. There have been 2 other conversations with senior government officials and the Chinese ambassador. We also have part of that statement that was put out by Global Affairs earlier today, and we'll bring it up for you right now. It says, this is from Chrystia Freeland. It says, "I wish to express Canada's appreciation to those who have spoken recently in support of the rule of law as fundamental to free societies. We share with our partners the conviction that the rule of law is not a choice, it is the bedrock of democracy. Canada will not compromise nor politicize the rule of law and due process." So again, Canada is really reiterating that position that it's not going to be interfering politically in the arrest of Meng Wanzhou, the CFO of Huawei, and that this case is going to stand.
There's also been, you sort of mentioned it off the top, but our allies are speaking out finally, and I guess you could say finally, and expressing support for the plight of these 2 Canadians and freeing them. What are they saying?
Well, absolutely. As we have reported on this show, actually, we learned of a quiet campaign by Canadian diplomats to get Canada's traditional allies to stand up publicly and speak out about this case. Canada made the case that, while Canada's being targeted today, it could be any like-minded country any other day. And if China isn't called out on its actions, it could continue to escalate the situation. The Americans put out a statement today. We have part of that. We'll bring it up. Canada, a country governed by the rule of law, is conducting a fair, unbiased, and transparent legal proceeding with respect to Ms. Meng Wanzhou. Canada respects its international legal commitments by honoring its extradition treaty with the United States. We share Canada's commitment to the rule of law, and we will defend and uphold this principle. We also express our deep concern for the Chinese government's detention of 2 Canadian citizens earlier this month and call for their immediate release. So on top of that, the UK also put out a statement. I'm not going to read that one as well, but it's very similar. But the UK, the US, and yesterday the EU put out a statement, all calling for the release of these Canadian citizens. All 3 sort of traditional allies standing up for Canada publicly, and now we wait for Beijing's response.
All right, we sure do, and I know you'll bring us the details when you have them. Thanks, Katie. The
Thanks.
CBC's Katie Simpson.